Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear students, welcome to our class. Inshallah, today we will be starting from peripheral nervous system. So last class we stopped till here, right? This reflex action and types of reflexes. And in this class, inshallah, we will be seeing peripheral nervous system. So we told that there are two nervous systems. First one is central nervous system and second one is peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system, brain and spinal cord, and those nerves which are associated with these two, then they come under peripheral nervous system. So it connects the central nervous system, as I told, with the sense organs, muscles, glands of the body, and this includes sensory and motor nerves. Okay, this includes sensory and motor nerves. And the peripheral nervous system consists of two subdivisions. You have two subdivisions of peripheral nervous system. First one is somatic nervous system, and the function of this is to convey the information from brain and spinal cord to skeletal muscles. We have our skeletal muscles, right? Muscles on the bones, and it regulates the voluntary action. Whatever we want to do voluntarily, these are like regulated by the somatic nervous system. And the second one is autonomic nervous system. It controls the involuntary action. Okay, those which are not in our control, involuntary, like many internal organs like heart and other things, and smooth muscles in our body, and heart muscles and glands like those secrete hormones. Okay, so first we'll see the first subdivision, that is somatic nervous system. It consists of two sets of nerves. Okay, first one is the cranial nerves, that is nerves which is associated with the brain, and the second one is spinal nerves, those nerves which are associated with the spinal cord. So when it comes to the cranial nerves, it has 12 pairs and it emerges from the brain. For example, optic nerve for our eyes and auditory nerve. Auditory is like for our ears to hear. And when it comes to spinal nerves, we have 31 pairs of spinal nerves and they emerge from the spinal cord. Okay, the next one is autonomic nervous system. It consists of a pair of chain of nerves and ganglia on either side of the backbone. So what is ganglia? Ganglia is nothing but uh, a group of nerve cells. Okay, a group of nerve cells. They are called as this thing, ganglia. So this autonomic nervous system, it controls the involuntary actions of the internal organs, as we stated earlier. So, and when it comes to the autonomic nervous system, there are two parts of the autonomic nervous system. First one is sympathetic and second one is parasympathetic. So we will see what these are. So when it comes to the sympathetic nervous system, they become more active during times of stress. We all know that there are some times of stress. Okay, so our body has to react. Okay, so the sympathetic nervous system, they become more active in the times of stress and it prepares the body for action. Okay, so its action during the stress response, it's called as fight or flight response. You might have heard this before, but fight or flight response is basically, it's a stressful situation. You either have to fight or you have to run away, flight. Okay, that's fight or flight response. And during this, the sympathetic nervous system plays the role, and the a hormone is secreted called as adrenaline. Okay, adrenaline is a hormone which is secreted and which causes the body to respond. Okay, it increases the heartbeat and the muscles become strong during that time. Okay, and the brain becomes active. All these things happen during this fight or flight response. Okay, that's what they call adrenaline rush. So the next one is the parasympathetic nervous system. It executes actions that do not require immediate response. Okay, for uh, anything that does not require immediate response, for that the parasympathetic nervous system comes into play. For example, producing saliva and tears and digestion. These are not like very immediate. I mean, these do not require immediate response, so the parasympathetic nervous system executes the actions for this. The functions of the sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system may seem opposite to each other, because here we told that sympathetic nervous system comes into play when there is a need for immediate response, but parasympathetic for those who do not require immediate response. So it might seem opposite, but it's not opposite, but it's like complementary. Okay, it's complementary, that they happen alternatively. Okay, uh, so here in this diagram they have explained this parasympathetic and sympathetic. Okay, what are the functions that happens, different functions. So here they have listed the parasympathetic nervous system and its functions, and here sympathetic, right side. So here you can see this is the brain and the spinal cord is continuing here, and these are the sympathetic ganglia. Ganglia is nothing but a group of neuron bodies. So here in the parasympathetic you will see the parasympathetic first. When it comes to eyes, the function of parasympathetic nervous system is that it constricts the pupil. Okay, it constricts the pupil in our eyes, and sympathetic, it dilates the pupil. Dilates means to increase in the size of the pupil in the eyes. When it comes to the salivary glands, it stimulates the salivation, the parasympathetic nervous system, and this one, it inhibits the salivation. So when we eat the food, or we need the salivation, but when there is no need, it has to be inhibited, right? So sympathetic comes into play. And heart, it slows the heartbeat, parasympathetic nervous system, and sympathetic, it accelerates the heartbeat, so that blood will be pumped to the different parts of the body. When it comes to lungs, it constricts the bronchi that are present here in the lungs, and it dilates the bronchi, that is to increase the size of the bronchi. And stomach, it stimulates the digestion, that is parasympathetic nervous system, and it inhibits the digestion. When there is no need for the digestion, then sympathetic nervous system comes into play and inhibits the digestion. Liver, it stimulates bile release, and sympathetic nervous system, it stimulates the glucose release. Okay, and intestines, it stimulates the peristalsis and secretion. Peristalsis is nothing but the muscle movement of our food pipe. Okay, muscle movement, and it pushes the food inside our body. You can type on Google how the peristalsis work, so you will see the image how the muscle constricts and pushes the food inside our body. Okay, and this one, sympathetic nervous system, it inhibits the peristalsis and the secretion. As for urinary bladder, the parasympathetic nervous system plays a role in contraction of the bladder, and sympathetic nervous system plays role in the relaxation of the bladder. Okay, so all these things, it come under the peripheral nervous system. So inshallah in the next class we will see the endocrine system, and we will complete this lesson inshallah. So I will stop here. Inshallah we will see in the next class. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.